Call your sponsor. Call your sponsor. Call your sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor.
Welcome back to Bitch Call Your Sponsor. My name is Misty.
Hi, Misty. I'm Sam.
Hello, Sam. Let's get going with our primary purpose. Our primary purpose is for Misty and Sam to grow
their friendship
and maybe help
others.
others.
Just maybe.
Speaking of others, my topic for today is the acronym for love. Let others voluntarily evolve. So I heard this one a few weeks ago, and we have mentioned it on the pod before. And I heard it from a friend who attends regular Al-Anon meetings, which it makes perfect sense. It's such a perfect anthem for Al-Anoners. But it has really helped me with the let them, the let them approach. Because whether someone's in my corner and on my cheerleading team, or they're like, no, I don't want any part of that. The let others voluntarily evolve, not saying somebody's not evolved if they're not on my team, but just that let them be true to themselves and what that looks like for them. Not everybody has to be on my team for me to feel like I have a worthy team. Thoughts, comments?
This is revolutionary because I have been in the role of, the subtle art of control and manipulation, as it were. And, to actually allow, like the allowing me to be, allowing you to be, is like a concept that is taken a very, very long time and a lot of actual pain in realizing that, like, there's no control, there's no, and love was always, love is actually like really fluid and warm and all of those things, whereas before it was very conditionally driven.
That's so interesting. That is really cool to hear, because I just had a conversation with a friend and we were talking about another friend of ours and our experience being around them with their child. And the fact that they don't set boundaries, that there is no discipline, that's not love. That the child, I can tell, is wanting for boundaries. They're pushing as far as they can go so somebody can say, no, it stops here. I love you enough to tell you no. I love you enough to be uncomfortable with your response. And it's so painful to watch their need to be approved play out in a way that their child gets no boundaries. Like, it's not loving to give your child everything.
Wow. So, when we have Dr. Becky on.
Yeah.
This is it. She, recently did The Stoics with Ryan Holiday.
Ooh, I got to listen to that one.
It was really beautiful because Ryan's encyclopedic knowledge of the Stoics and then bringing that to child rearing, and what they both really got off on was this whole idea of happiness and how parents were raising their kids to be happy. But Dr. Becky realized it's not about making your kids happy. It's about making them resilient and actually being able to let them have their own feelings versus fixing things for them so that they don't have a feeling.
Right, right. And also, like, as you were saying that, I was thinking about how many parents want to be happy themselves by having their child turn out in a way that makes them feel good or behave in a way that makes them feel good. So they're like, I want to be happy. You have to behave this way.
I also see that as like the self-centeredness of like my child is a reflection
Right.
of me,
Right.
you know, and look what a great parent I am because they're so well behaved.
Yeah. Or they like want to, their image of themselves is wrapped up in this kid, and now the kid is misbehaving. And they're just like, you have to behave because you're the image I've created of myself. You're all my hopes and dreams in this. And so how dare you not say thank you to the person at the grocery store and just berate them when really it's themselves that they're so disappointed with. But the kid doesn't know that.
This goes deeper.
This goes deep. You're exactly right.
It goes deep. It goes deeper. It even happens with sponsorship.
Oh, good. Keep going.
Have you seen the guru sponsors that have the sponsorship family? Oh, look at this one. Look at that one. You know, like sometimes people will come up to me. I don't share who I'm sponsoring, but you know, sometimes people will share that I'm sponsoring, whatever. And then someone will come up and say, you did a great job. I literally try to throw up in. I like literally sometimes throw up in my mouth. Where I'm like, no.
Your little chickadee. You did such a great job.
No, that's God, honey. That's God. I just pass it on. You know, like I just shared what was given to me, and they have their own experience.
And I'm like, I sponsored that one. Yes,
those are mine.
right.
They're mine.
I know, aren't they amazing? They're like, don't you sponsor these other 4 over here? I'm like, shut up. We don't talk about them.
They're all branded
with MM. Gather around the fireplace, my little chickadees. It's time for another Misty talk.
I just had a download. Gather round.
Yes, you're welcome. Would you like to tweet me? Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up because I have a sponsee that I've acquired recently. She acquired me. Let's be honest. So we meet once a week and go over step work. And she was saying something about like she almost called me during the week. And I'm like, well, you know, you can't. And she said, well, I've had such a problem with sponsors where I put them on a pedestal and then I get resentful at them for not solving my problems. And she's like, so with this, I'm trying to keep really clear boundaries and I'm trying to do kind of the stuff that they do in ACA, which is like the fellow travelers. I'm like, I'm familiar. But I was like, I think that's great. And one of the first speeches I ever give to a sponsee is like, hey, don't put me on a pedestal, I'll fall. And I also say whatever you put into this is what you get out of it. So like if you want to meet once a week and we do in-depth step work and that works for you and you know yourself and you don't want to get in too much of a codependent relationship, like amazing. I support that. And also feel free if you want to text me and say, are you free at 4:00 or are you free at this time? Because I no longer want people just calling me in the middle of the day. I do like people to reach out and ask if it's okay at this time or sponsees to do that.
It's that for me is like really, that for me is like the embodiment of the program, right? Like somebody has this awareness of how they are and they're, you know, actively consciously practicing doing it differently, you know?
Yeah. While leaving room for it to not have to be so rigid.
Yeah. I love rigidity. So I tend to lean towards that. But yeah, it's the middle ground. I think like some of the stuff that's come up this week for me is, okay, we know what the extremes are, right? Like I know what the extremes are at all times because my brain, I think, is binary and just thinks of all or nothing, now or never. And then what usually happens in between is where there's a communication, where there's a connection with God or others. What ends up revealing itself for me is this like middle area that I don't necessarily enjoy or doesn't give me a jolt or is not really what I ever consider.
Equanimity.
Huh?
Equanimity.
Oh, there's that word again.
That's what it is. It's the all or nothing. It's the greater or lesser. It's all that. And then there's the like middle of the road. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't sound appealing. Of course not.
It's not dramatic.
It's not what my nervous system is used to. It's used to all or nothing. It's used to high highs or low lows.
So talk to me more about this. Let others voluntarily evolve. Has that how has that shifted for you over time? Has it shifted?
Yeah. I mean, I think what's coming to me is that I felt like every decision on everyone else's part was a chess move. I thought that people were trying to either plot against me or root for me. And really, nobody's thinking about me. And so even if somebody were plotting against me, let them find out through their own higher power, through their own experience through life, that that's not a great way to live. I don't need to interject in that. I don't need to do anything. And so for the person that cuts me off in traffic, where I used to feel like I need to teach everybody a lesson, or my ego felt like that, now that you cut me off, now I have to zoom up and get in front of you and tap my brakes and teach you that nobody gets in front of Misty. And it's I
love that energy.
Right. And like, I'm going to see you 3 weeks from now and you're going to have learned your lesson and be like, oh, wait, there's that Audi. Like, I better not get in front of it, Like, that's not a thing. So going to the point where like, somebody cuts in front of me and I go, let others voluntarily evolve. Like, I love them because here's the other part of it is that is a piece of me. I am one in the whole with every single person. We're just in different vessels, but we're really the sun broken out in sunbursts. We're the ocean broken out in droplets in these different vessels. I am one with everyone here. So if they need to cut me off, let them voluntarily evolve. I'm growing in different ways in all these different forms. So it helps.
Would you say that love equals letting go?
Yeah, I would say that loving myself wholly and completely, flaws, beauty, all of it, equals loving everyone else wholly, fully, equally, beautifully, everything.
Your sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call your sponsor.
Send us an email with comments, questions, or concerns, bcysponsor@gmail.com.
Don't forget to rate 5 stars.